It's a great fortune to have all of the devotees, Vaishnavas, Vaishnavis for this Nityanand Sabha camp. We have been doing these camps before COVID, maybe I think till 2018 or so. And then after the COVID, at a particular stage, Radheshampu felt that now we can start again the camps, and especially we had earlier the camps of both Gauranga Sabha and Nityanand Sabha starting in the student phase itself. So we wanted to change that format because sometimes when the students are very young in their Krishna consciousness, they have some prejudices in terms of how ashrams are. But bhakti is very sweet, and everyone just loves everyone else and wants to be together serving the Lord. So because those things unnecessarily cause many concerns, so we shifted the whole forum to be at the working phase, and now all of you are here, and this is a very, very important forum. I remember once I was at GEV and there was discussion going on in among the all the leaders of the Chopati and Chopati connected temples that we have to have some program for training those who are upcoming grihasthas or upcoming brahmacharis before they join the ashram. So we were just thinking that Radheshampu has already made that forum. So it's a very important forum, and now that and we have got such wonderful Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis like His Grace Dwarkadish Prabhu and Her Grace Vishaka Priya Devi Mataji. So very, very wonderful. Her Grace Radharani Mataji and many other devotees who are from our temple itself. So this is a very important forum, and I'm sure that all of you will feel greatly benedicted as you move on in your grihastha life. And I especially would like to thank His Grace AtmaramGauranga Prabhu, Anuj Prabhu, and many others who are in the team, Akshay Prabhu, and we have Sucharu Murari Prabhu. I am not aware of the full team, but there is a NS core team. I'll personally meet them after this camp, because this camp became the basis of that team coming up, and all of them are very heartily making it happen. Even before the camp started, AtmaramGauranga was so much concerned that we should make it the best and we should see that maximum devotees take the benefit. He even expanded the horizon of what Nityanand Sabha camp means to include some young grihasthas, means young grihasthas can also take the benefit of this. So they are very heartily trying to make this forum a very beautiful one. And I hope and pray that you have great experience and also enlightenment as you proceed in this camp in the next 3 days. I am more or less, just a facilitator to the camp under AtmaramGauranga's desire, whatever he wants to do, and Radheshampu has, of course, a vision for us. So I also wanted to mention that the facilities that we have right now for all your accommodation and all may be little meager. Maybe some of you are just staying locally, you may not know, but those who are staying in Shatrunjay or in this place at the voice floor, so it's a little congested. Somehow we had estimated some 300-400 devotees as the count, but our count of overall camps shot to 800. So we were like happily, then it was a happy problem to have, but then we don't know how to fully make the best service to all of you happen. So we have tried our best. Please bear with us, and also if you have still any concerns, you can come back to me or any of the coordinators to ensure that we give you little better service than what we are able to do right now. And we would like to have AtmaramGauranga Prabhu has been a very exemplary grihastha devotee. He is very exemplary in his morning sadhana. His home is a temple also, actually. His children, they do the worship of the Lordships. Very beautiful Vaishnavas, both of them, and good wife also. Every day I see him coming with his children to the temple, and very dynamic in his preaching spirit, and very loving with all the devotees in both the ashrams. Very, very sweet Vaishnava. We have got him. Actually, even when he was in Calcutta, he was preaching there in the medical college. And here as soon as he came, we captured him for Prabhuji, this place, that place, because we saw such a gem like Vaishnava has come to our community. And he immediately became like one with our programs, and then he has been doing so much for the movement. So we are very grateful that he has also taken this responsibility along with all other things to see that Nityanand Sabha Forum becomes a reality and then also a very beautiful one. So we'd like to heartily thank him by once loudly chanting Hari Bol! Hari Bol! We'd like to also thank the entire team under him. And
the shortage of mic is creating a problem for me. So how many of you don't know Antardweep Prabhu?
they know.
So this is
They are all voice devotees.
so some of them are voice, some of them are sound, so different types of devotees. So he's right hand of Raisham Prabhu, and that's a big introduction, to he has been he understands, that we have that Rupa Goswami has understood the mind of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and then so he understands the mind of Radhesham Prabhu, and he knows what to execute and everything. So I have seen in several occasions that whatever he wants as a vision, Radhesham Prabhu, one person who can firmly understand and implement is Antardweep Prabhu. So he has been a very long-standing right hand for Radhesham Prabhu, and even this his concept of how we want to drive these different sabhas is very, very clear, and that has led to a very congenial environment and growth of both these different groups of Gauranga Sabha, Nityanand Sabha. And it's actually his effort. I think I got this seva only couple of months back, but before that, this NS meets were going on. I think it was a smaller forum. Now we hope with all of you coming in, the forum will also get bigger. It was once a month NS meet going on. So he ensured that while in COVID also, the Nityanand Sabha meets kind of continue. So he understands the vision of Radhesham Prabhu, and he has a great heart to take care of all devotees. So actually all glories to him. Oh, His Grace Antardweep Prabhu ki. So let us actually thank him by loudly chanting 3 times, Hari Bol! Hari Bol! Hari Bol!
It's always good to get the blessings of Vaishnava. So we like to commence this forum now. Is it Dwarkadish Prabhu will come, or you have something? Yeah, Prabhu will take something beautiful. I just wanted to give an introduction to this nice forum, and now you proceed with your camp. I may come at the end for some just last talks. So thank you very much. Any difficulties you have, I'm available as a servant always. You can always call me. If you don't have my number, ask anyone, they will tell you. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So it feels so happy to have Nityanand Sabha camp after a long time. So those of you, for the first time we are expanding it to couples. Earlier we used to have all the chadas, boys in the camp. So all of you, how many of you have attended previously any NS camp? Feeling, no? So must be feeling nostalgic, no? Now we are back with the camp. So I don't want to bore you too much, okay, because upcoming is Dwarkadesh Prabhu, Vishakha Priya Mataji, Radharani Mataji, but I wanted to take this roughly 45-minute session, and this will also help you understand the design of the camp, why we are planning to have certain topics, how we want to have. So this structure will be important for us to understand, okay. So can we go ahead? Okay. So now this is called 7 pillars of balance in Grahastha life. I don't have access to, I can't know because it's wire is, okay, so fine. So you can see the photo, no? It's very balanced photo. One and a fulfilling photo, ना real गृहस्थ photo, ना बच्चे सब आराम से जपा भी चल रहा है सब, so the गृहस्थ photo. So a very nice. That's the point, Grahastha life is so colorful, green, blue, everything, So here we start. So can you come to the next slide, please? Why we have to balance? What I'll do is, Hare Krishna. Is better, right? I can walk, right? Why balance? So sometimes when we hear word balance, no, it looks like a very compromised situation. Should I close it, no? It looks like a compromised situation. Balance, balance between what and balance. Balance means why balance? Srimad Bhagavatam states that time factor favors mode of goodness. It's a very important principle which Bhagavatam says. The time factor favors what? Mode of goodness. Balance brings mode of goodness. Now you may think I am already in pure goodness, so I didn't. But at least we need to come to goodness to travel to pure goodness. Like you have to take a flight. I'll go to airport, go to the runway, and take the flight, right? So key point is that time factor favors goodness. What does that actually mean is, I think there's not much space to walk, so better I'll go back to my balance situation of setting. Usually I love to walk and, but I think there is table and all. Too much of logistical things will be there. When there is no mode of goodness, obviously there is passion, there is ignorance. There is passion, then we do things, but then we see that no, it doesn't sustain. And that's why balance is the root cause of consistency. All of us want to be consistent in life, right? So that consistency comes by balance. It's like, it's consider, unfortunately life is not IPL, so it's actually a test match, it's a big match. So if one has to consistently keep performing, one has to be balanced. Very key point is, His Holiness Radhanath Maharaj says, a very amazing point, and he says that what gets neglected gets destroyed. And it's not that it is true only for for devotees it may not be true. Just like if I if I go down not taking care of my, let's say, health or something like that, that gets destroyed. So whatever I neglect gets destroyed. This also makes us understand balance means what? Balance means we understand what are the key points and we don't neglect it. Balance doesn't mean quantitative 12.5%, 12.5%, 12.5%. No. Balance means understanding, and which we'll see the next slide. Understand the key aspects or key pillars of the life of a devotee and not neglecting any one of them, because whatever we neglect gets destroyed. Prolonged period of neglect will cause issues. Once Bhakti Rasamrit Maharaj told a very important point, and all this is, by the way, the source is Bhakti Rasamrit Maharaj. So when I got married, after that, my wife incidentally is coming from Belgaum. So I got his association in dowry. So that was a very good dowry I got. So when I got married, then I their family was, so he told that she is like my daughter, so take care of her nicely. And then finally, I told that better I keep reporting you every month. And he told me you have to report on these 7 points. So it is not my points, okay? These are the points stated by His Holiness Bhakti Rasamrit Maharaj. And I see that in 14 years of a married life, it has really worked well. Okay. And what he says is that yoga technically means you are doing whatever you are supposed to do. You do things you do it sincerely, with pleasure, with faith, and with enthusiasm. Okay. This is a key thing, right? Whatever I have to do, I do it with sincerity, I do it with faith, I do it with enthusiasm. So you understand what are the key things to be done by me? I do it with sincerity, enthusiasm, faith. And he told, when you do develop that habit of doing that state is called yoga. In that state of mind, it's very easy to fix our mind on Krishna. It's very easy to fix our mind on Krishna. All of us want to fix our mind on Krishna, right? And intuitively, we also understand when we are really going it becomes difficult to focus ourselves in satisfied way, in a peaceful way on Krishna. No, all of you will have that experience also. In fact, our philosophy is all about balance. What is our philosophy? Achintya, what a balance. It's balance. Lord is one with his energies and also at the same time different. What a balance. If you see all the pastimes of Lord, Arjun, how he dealt with Ashwathama and all, so everywhere you will see, or Prithu Maharaj dealing with Indra, you will see devotees taking a very balanced position, a very refined, balanced position. Technically, it's coming from that point that, no, because that's what our philosophy is about, actually balancing things, balancing different aspects. We are not, and we say also, no, we are not completely like Gyan, we are not completely like Karma. Bhakti is in the middle, okay? So balance is not a defeated position. It is a difficult position. Sometimes I think balance means I have to come down here, and no. Balance is not a defeated position. We see that balance will lead to very great performance. Only thing is, it's a little difficult position to have. Why? Why it's a difficult thing to do? It requires control. Control over whom? Yeah, our own biases, our own prejudices. Those biases, these are the strongest thing to be controlled. No, our own biases. मेरे अपने कुछ prejudices हैं. मैं ऐसे सोचता हूँ. Some things I like, some things I don't like, but still I have to do. Right? That's the call of balance. So what are those 7 pillars? Is it clear why we have to balance? Is it? Okay. It's a sacrifice. It will call for sacrifice. First of all, sacrifice of our own opinions, sacrifice of our own, so many things, right? Make sense? Okay. Anyways, we'll have Q&A in between. I'll be around only. If we have something to discuss, we'll also discuss. Now we'll come to what are those 7 pillars of balance. Come to next slide. Oh, it's not visible, right? Anyways, I'll tell you. Sadhana, number 1. Association, 2. Preaching or any other services. Hearing. Relationship with wife and with husband. Health. जॉब एंड फाइनेंशियल्स. नो रॉकेट साइंस. इसमें से कुछ भी ऐसा नहीं है जिसमें आपको सुन के लगे ओ ये तो पता ही नहीं था हमको. एवरीथिंग यू नो, राइट? बट कीपिंग ऑल दीज बॉल्स टुगेदर रोलिंग, दैट इज अ challenging thing to do. Sometimes we focus on something, neglect another thing. Sometimes we do something, neglect another thing for a long period of time, and then it creates problems. Can you relate to all of these 7 pillars? Right? Sadhana, association, preaching, hearing, relationship, health, and finally job and financial security. As I told, there is no surprise package in this. All the pillars are something which we knew. Okay. But just like you go to circus, right? They have this ball, which they, first they start with 1 ball. Then we'll start with 2nd ball, then we'll start with 3rd ball, then we'll start with 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th. The ball is not new actually. The point is that there are 6, 7 balls to be managed, That is a point. And it's all about practice. It's not about, first you understand that you have to. You will have to. And then it's about practice. And then when you do the practice, then it's look very wonderful. It looks wonderful to us. It looks wonderful to others. So even outside people know, when we talk of preaching, what are they actually looking for? They are looking for people who are balanced. You must have observed this thing, no? Even in our comments and all, in Krishna consciousness, if we give very extreme comments, people get put off. Okay. So what they are looking at is balanced. Okay, they are taking care of everything. Okay, so there is nothing they are actually neglecting actually. So that's what it is. But so it just requires a little amount of practice. And first of all, accepting that I have to do it. अगर बोल ही दिया कि मैं एक ही बॉल रखूंगा, चाहे मेरे पिटारे में 7 बॉल्स हैं, बट मैं करने एक ही बॉल वाला हूँ, ऐसे एक ही बॉल घुमाता रहूँगा, वो 7 बॉल ऐसे की ऐसे रह जाएंगी. So what we have to do is, we have to accept, and then we have to do it. And that doing it happens by practice. So we'll just briefly elaborate on each and every pillar. Okay, so I'll bring some of the situations from, I'll tell you why we especially in the beginning of marriage, or when we are about to get married, why we tend to neglect certain things, okay? Or sometimes when again, when I was married, and it was just hardly 2 3 months, 3 4 months. So you have to give something called emotional security to your wife, right? So I told Maharaj that she's seeking emotional security, So yeah, you have to give it. And she told her, Maharaj, in this process I may get attached. Oh, so so then he told, for detachment, chant your rounds nicely, take association of devotees, do services nicely, like that he told. It looks a simple thing, but actually what happens is sometimes we treat devotional life as either renunciation of certain things, or we think, then we go to the other extreme and we think, let's enjoy that nicely. And then when our heart is satisfied, then we'll do devotional life. आप समझ रहे हैं ना, ये दो पैराडाइम आ जाते हैं कभी कभी, कि मैं ये चीज़ करूँगा तो इसमें तो मेरी अटैचमेंट हो जाएगा, मैं नहीं कर सकता हूँ, तो मैं नहीं करूँगा. दूसरा, थक के फाइनली वी गेट टायर्ड, देन वी थिंक चलो अब अच्छे से उसको करते हैं, जो भी इंजॉय करना है, जो करना है करो, फिर उसके बाद देन वील डू डिवोशनल लाइफ. विश्वनाथ चक्रवर्ती ठाकुर सेज दिस थिंग इज कॉल्ड व्यूध विकल्प. व्यूध विकल्प, pendulum, Point is, bhakti is neither dependent on renunciation, bhakti is neither dependent on enjoyment. Bhakti is bhakti in itself, Bhakti is just dependent on itself. Bhakti Devi. That's what we say, right? Ahetuki apritiyata. So we think by doing something, not. So what we have to focus on is on the positives in our Krishna consciousness, and not try to find some shortcuts, etc. And then what we get is realization. Because before that it's all theory, but then when we got is real, because we did what we were supposed to do, and we are focusing on the right thing, right levers in advancement in Krishna consciousness. So can you go to sadhana? Next slide. What is sadhana? Very simple things. I am just sharing whatever I have received, and certain things is we should have a rhythm of the day. No, I know some of you are married, or some of you are with kids or whatever. I don't know, in whichever situations you all are. But there should be a rhythm to the day. That rhythm you need to have as Krishna conscious as possible, but then that is your rhythm. But you need to have a rhythm. It cannot be an erratic day. Someday I'm starting on something, someday I'm starting on something, someday I'm starting on something. See, when you're in voices, it's fine. You have realized it. But when you move out, when you start working, when you get married, when you're with kids, life is going to change a lot. But still try to have a rhythm in your day. Once one devotee, he came to, we were sitting with Maharaj, and he was telling about, again, Bhakti Rasami Maharaj. And he was telling that there are a lot of devotees who keep coming to me for their problems, married life, I think he has solved more married problems than anyone else. So he was telling that, I tell that ultimately you have to do all this, okay, you bend down a bit, but ultimately you have to do this one thing right. If you do this one thing right, everything else will be all right. If you do this one thing right, everything else will be. That is our homework. Lifetime homework. We have to do this one thing right. शुरू में बहुत अच्छा लगता है, बहुत अच्छे से करते हैं सब कुछ, but how many of you have realized it becomes difficult as we proceed, right? It becomes difficult, but we have to consistently keep on doing and continuously keep on improving. We have to do this one thing right, and then everything else will be. Of course, we don't have a chanting seminar right now, but then definitely all of you know whatever it takes to improve your chanting, improve focus and all that we have to do. Of course, there are some things which Maharaj told us also in terms of chanting and all. But point is that trying to do our best is what we have to do. Next. These are necessarily not in order. Don't think it's in order of priority, or maybe whatever. Everything is important. Treat everything as important as it has to be. Second is preaching. Once I asked Jananiwas Prabhu that, no, what do we mean by Grahastha life? And he told the very important, a very simple difference between Grahastha and Grahamedi. He told, Grahastha means mission. Grahamedi means maintenance. We just focus on maintenance. There'll be phases in our life when we will not be, let's say, we'll have to do maintenance, but we don't stop there. We contribute to the mission as much as possible. If you can't do direct preaching, then please help somebody who is doing direct preaching. But point is, there has to be some preaching in our life. Why? Because preaching, that's what I'm saying. No, quality is must. Quantum may vary. Whatever may happen, no, if we continue with our chanting and preaching, it will bring the nishtha within us for devotional life. So while you appreciate all these other pillars, but if you just continue your hard work in preaching, in doing missionary services, that will be. So that's why you see in the camp also we have designed the topics. No, there is one topic especially on preaching is essence, because you should understand the message that no, in Grahastha life, it is how people are doing that also. That is also an important thing to note. We should not think, okay, I have done in voice, enough of it, I am really burnt. Point, it's our need. If we have to continue, we have to do it. And whatever we can do. It is not that everybody can do 4 days a week or 5 days a week or 2 days a week or 3 days a week. Whatever we can do, we do. But there has to be an element of missionary contribution. Because, that's our setup, all of us will do Madhukari kind of setup we have in our mission. If we make it Pareto principle, no, 80% of thing will be done by 20% of people. Then organizations also fail and we will also fail, okay. So, opposite to Pareto principle is Madhukari principle. No, everybody does their bit, whatever they can do. So this is our loyalty to Srila Prabhupada, this is our loyalty to our respected spiritual masters, this is our debt to the Vaishnavas. We repay that debt, we cannot ever repay, but to whatever extent we do that by preaching. Whatever way we are comfortable, or if we support the devotees who are preaching, but we do something, okay. So don't let that fire of contributing and changing the world, which Srila Prabhupada was carrying, practically wildfire within his heart. Let's not, extinguish the small lamp in our heart. Let it keep going, That's very important in Grahastha life. Relationship. So, all these things are seemingly so opposite, after preaching, suddenly. That's the beauty of Grahastha life, Sab kuch ghoom. So that's a practice, Either you're not preaching or preaching, chal tu ja kone mein, main preaching karne ja raha hu. But how do we balance? That is the, and don't think it comes by birth. No, as sometimes there is a discussion, leadership is by some people are born leaders or some people can be cultivated as leaders. We definitely can be cultivated as balanced grahasthas. Definitely. It's all about practice. I can tell from my experience because I was in extremes. So I definitely know there is some development at least. Relationship is very important. When I used to, in my initial phases of grahastha life, I was like, 5 days a week going out preaching and this and that and everything. So I used to report to, as I told I used to report to Maharaj, every month. So Maharaj, this college started. Very good. And then this relationship section used to come, and then I used to say, we are working on it, Maharaj. We are. So Maharaj used to say, I am particularly concerned about that. And what he told, this is what we should aim in our married life. Simple, nice, friendly relationship with wife. हमारा सबसे अच्छा फ्रेंड हमारा स्पाउस बनने वाला है. मतलब जो शादीशुदा है वो उनको देख के लग सकता है कि नहीं यार पॉसिबल नहीं, मुश्किल दिख रहा है बहुत. बट दिस इज अ फैक्ट, और सब लोग हमारे को पूरी तरह एक्सेप्ट नहीं कर रहे हैं. दे आर एक्सेप्टिंग पार्ट ऑफ इट मे बी, but our spouse has accepted us already with complete pluses and minuses, and all we have to do is do our roles properly. Understand the needs of our partner and do that role properly. और सबकी नीड है, वो नीड को केटर करना है बस. And then we see that this relationship is going to become a very, Srila Prabhupada remarks that a good wife is equal to good intelligence, you know. आप बोल सकते हो अरे मेरी wife, point is that you behave in such a way that she becomes good, okay, then she'll become good intelligence. Actually she'll, because males, they have a tendency to go in this, that, so many things, and female comes and says, oh, hold on. And sometimes male may be intellectual and female may get emotional or too much this thing, and then he comes and gives the support. Together they become a very strong team. So relationship is a very, and there's a big problem, you know. I mean, with the current generation, we see that nobody wants to sacrifice. No, everybody thinks that I am the center. I am the center. I am the center. In my home, I am the center. My mood is what defines the mood of the whole home. That's the basic problem, right? But this goes against our philosophy, you know. Krishna is the center, you know. His mood is most important, and his mood is we cooperate. We cooperate. Okay. So, of course, you will have a lot to hear on this, so I'll not go too much into it. So, fight like goats, you know. Don't fight like dogs and cats. There'll be fight. But you know how goats fight? लड़ रही हैं और जैसे कोई आता है ना, जैसे मान लो बाइक आ गई, दोनों ही मिलकर निकल जाएंगे एक दूसरे. Fights are not so serious basically. Don't have serious fights. Tooth and nail, no? एक दूसरे का, वो कई बार आपने देखा ना, वो एग्जाम्पल है इसमें, वो लास्ट में ओपिनियन, दो पंडित लड़ रहे होते हैं, हाँ, ये मेरा ओपिनियन है, ये तेरा ओपिनियन है, फिर वो एक बार डूब रहे होता है तो वो डूबते डूबते ही बोलता है ऐसे 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 करके. You have heard that story? Anyone of you? Huh? So there were two pandits. I'm not clearly remembering the specifics, and they were fighting on something, argument, okay, and they were fighting, and then what happened? They were on a boat, and then I think it started sinking, and somebody was saying it works like this, and the other person was saying no, it works like this, and he was sinking, you know. The other person swam, the other brahmana, you know, sinking, he could not swim also, but even while drowning he was saying no. तो कई बार हम अपने ओपिनियंस में इतना ज्यादा अटैच्ड होते हैं कि हमारे लिए रिलेशनशिप इंपॉर्टेंट नहीं होता, हमारा ओपिनियन सही या गलत है वो ज्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट होता है. But it's more important to be Krishna conscious than being right or wrong. It's more important to be that. So it's okay. I mean, relationship is good, everything is good. And if relationship is bad, then things go bad. So you know, it's a devotional quality. We are talking of humility, we are talking of tolerance. वो qualities आएंगी तभी तो जाएंगे ना हम लोग जहाँ पे जाना है. Wherever we are planning to go back to Godhead, right? And that's what we need. So differences I have not seen. I mean, generally 95% of the couples, the husband wife, they are having two different nature. Different मतलब ऐसे different होते हैं ऐसे. Generally, हाँ. आप में से किसको experience है क्या ऐसा? ये ऐसा है, वो ऐसा है, ऐसा. Differences are there to make us better. कई बार हमें लगता है ये ऐसे ही सोचती है, ऐसे सोचती है, और ये ऐसे ही सोचते हैं. ये चीज होती है तो ऐसे करते हैं, ये चीज होती है तो ऐसे करती है. पर वो डिफरेंसेस भगवान ने डिजाइन करे हैं हमारे को बेटर बनाने के लिए. बिकॉज ऐसा नहीं कि इन 20 to 23 वी हैव परफेक्टेड आवर लाइव्स, वी हैव नॉट. सो वी हैव टू गेट बेटर, वी हैव टू गेट, सो सम वी ऑलवेज विल लैंड अप विद अ पार्टनर हु इज गोइंग टू बी डिफरेंट, ओके, थोड़ा रहने वाला है अच्छे से, मतलब ऑन ओपिनियंस, ऑन व्यूज, ऑन लाइफ, so many things, but use those differences to enhance your relationships. And that's why, like, no, don't use the differences to just hook on to it strongly. And you understand, this is the nature of my partner, I deal with that accordingly. Let's say if I have a horse, I can't deal with a horse the way I deal with a, let's say, a cow. I'll deal with the horse the way horse wants it to be dealt with, right? So it is that's it. It's just that common sense. That is common sense actually. All we have to do is we have to understand the nature of the person and deal with it. And relationship is good, we are on fire, we'll do whatever is supposed. Relationship is bad, our energy is sucked there, our chanting goes down, everything. Oh, maybe the married devotees can also comment on it. They know if relationship is not going good, then no, sometimes it becomes difficult to even continue chanting, and so many things are there. So have a good relationship. Fight like goats and not like dogs and cats. Save the relationship. That's the most important thing. Relationship is over being right and wrong. Okay. Next is association. which gets reduced. In voices we don't have problem. वो जगाते भी devotee, उठाते भी devotee हैं, लात भी devotee से पड़ रही है, सब कुछ हो रहा है. पर जब हम अपने मैरिड लाइफ में आते हैं या फिर यहाँ somebody who is not staying in a community kind of setup or even community kind of setup, it all depends on association for grahasthas. A lot of it depends on if you can clearly do an experiment, 20 days of no association and see the effect on your Krishna consciousness. It really comes down tremendously. ये प्रिंसिपल हम किसी भी स्टेज में नहीं छोड़ सकते हैं अपने भक्ति के. एसोसिएशन लुक्स लाइक अ वेरी सिंपल प्रिंसिपल. ऐसा क्या, और मैंने बहुत ले ली प्रभु जी एसोसिएशन, तो बहुत ज़्यादा हो गई मेरी. जैसे कल हमने बहुत हो गया, अब और एसोसिएशन नहीं चाहिए मेरे को. मतलब कल मैंने लंच बहुत खा लिया तो आज लंच नहीं खाऊंगा, नहीं, वो जो खाया वो तब कंज्यूम हो गया. नाउ यू हैव टू डू इट. सो एवरी टाइम देयर हैज टू बी स्कोप ऑफ टेकिंग एसोसिएशन, especially regularly coming to temple, whatever frequency allows. I don't know where all of you are staying, but wherever all of you are staying, there has to be a regular frequency to visit temples. Just coming to temple, visiting, taking darshan, being with devotees, it really pulls up. ये ऐसे चीजें हैं जिसको क्वेश्चन नहीं करता. These fundamentals cannot be questioned. They have to be done. We cannot say that no, Prabhuji, because 4 years no, I was sleeping, eating, and everything with devotees only I was doing, and no bathing and all. Now 2 years break, no devotee association. वहीं पे स्वाहा हो जाएगा. Everything will go down. So association. Don't find faults. These are typical things. Which will happen. Again, what you are there in this association for, that you have to be. I mean, don't, if you pick up critical subjects, critical topics, go there, take association, serve devotees, come back. It's a very simple thing. अरे प्रभु जी, तो हम बचपन में कर रहे थे, जब हम भक्ति में बचपन में थे. अब तो हम बहुत बड़े हो गए, हमें ये पता है, हमें वो पता है, ISKCON में क्या चल रहा है, ये चल रहा है, वो चल रहा है. But still stick to that same simple principle, because those who have stuck to this simple principle, they have continued. Those who have not, then we know what has happened. Okay. We also need friends of your length. It is important to have your own friends and all those things. That has to be done. Okay. So make good friends. Generally, if you are married, माता जी इसकी वेवलेंथ अगर मैच हो जाए तो फिर बात बन जाती है. Generally, family relationships happen. Okay. So the husband has to be sensitive that if there is a friendship happening at a family level, the wife is comfortable. Okay. So then it becomes easier. Then the whole family can come together and do that. The point is that don't search for a perfect friend. Okay. Start with social aspects, revealing. But if we get too much into each other, then suddenly we see so many faults and we really want to repel from each other. Okay. So have a very organic growth in the relationship, but we need friends. We need friends. Okay. I have one of my friends who's Roop Charan Prabhu. We discuss daily, we have Bhagavatam reading, which happens. So it really helps, when we have friends, Hearing. Why hearing is kept separate? Once one devotee again came to Bhakti Rasamrit Maharaj, almost 20 years in devotional life. आके बोला कि महाराज भक्ति में कोई एंथुजियाज्म नहीं बचा है. महाराज ने दोनों हाथ उंगलियां ली और ऐसे कान में डाली. Hearing. If the hearing goes off for a long period of time, exclusive hearing or reading, then it becomes एक समय के बाद भक्ति में बोझ लगने लगता है, या वो एंथु ही नहीं रहता. To go share it with others, that will not be there unless there's a regular reading. Whatever is your schedule, you decide. It's not that, since all of you are working wherever, you can do it for half an hour, fine. You can do it for 1 hour, it's very good. You can do it for 15, but there has to be some daily reading. Again, rhythm of the day. There has to be rhythm. So the freshness and consciousness can remain only if there is regular reading and hearing. अगर वो नहीं है लंबे समय तक, it will lead to a lot of stale consciousness. It will be difficult to kind of continue in Krishna consciousness. How many of you can relate to this point? Anybody can relate to it? How many of you are reading regularly Srila Prabhupada books? What percentage is roughly? 25, 30? 31. We know, right? So working, there can be n number of excuses we may have that no, I'm not reading because of this reason and all those. But you need to find time and read. Okay, job, ये सब कुछ रहेगा. I'm also working. I'm also playing a sales role in TCS. which means a very hectic role. There are targets. Even Saturday, Sunday, something keeps going. But then reading has to be there. Please make conscious efforts to read. अगर नहीं हो रहा तो भक्ति शास्त्री में enroll कर जाओ. At least you'll be pushed to get read. But do some initiative to read. It's very important for us because हमारी chanting कैसे होती है हम सबको पता है. मतलब it becomes a drag actually, some of the rounds at least, if not all, for many of us who get married now also. So when we are not reading, hearing, then slowly it gets drifted away. But at least when we are reading, hearing, we'll be motivated to even put our chanting builds appetite. Hearing and reading is the food, and it gets digested by Guru's mercy. Okay. So if you want to remain healthy in Krishna consciousness, read and hear, please. Job and financials. Job is like, you need to understand it's your job. Okay. There was a phase, when in even in Krishna consciousness and in our movement, especially in the youth training and all those things, where there was a certain section in which we used to feel that only we'll do this kind of job only this kind of job, and that is it. But point is that it doesn't work that way. You have to understand your strength and you have to work accordingly. Poor career doesn't mean rich Krishna consciousness. कई बार हमें लगता है कि हम career की वाट लगा देते हैं. मतलब basically I not focus on career and thus I'll become very rich in Krishna consciousness. It will not happen. Krishna consciousness doesn't take birth like that. Okay. So you need to have a good career. Mahavishnu Maharaj gives a very amazing point. Mahavishnu Goswami Maharaj. He tells a point that money also brings mode of goodness. Very amazing point actually. He tells, because the point is that let's say अभी आपको नहीं लग रहा, लेकिन जब family वगैरह रहती है तब मान लो if you don't have, I mean you can potentially earn but you have not, and then you are running on a very frugal means, then you are just thinking about that. But when there is this thing, then you can think actually about doing all these other things, and also if there is a potential, please do it. Don't minimize it. Sometimes we think reducing passion means goodness will come, but sometimes reducing passion, ignorance may also come. And it happens actually that way. So focus on your strength, whatever is your strength, whatever you are supposed to do, you are endowed to do with. तो हनुमान की तरह आपको कोई भी शक्ति याद दिला सकता है, आपकी वाइफ याद दिला सकती है, आपके कोई यार याद दिला, भैया जागो मोहन प्यारे. But do it. While doing it, then don't go to the other extreme that no, अब मैं ऐसा करके दिखाऊंगा कि फोड़ ही दूंगा, I'll be the best technocrat, ये इस alma mater में मैं इस alumni में मेरा नाम आना चाहिए, वो सब चीजें इतना प्रयास करेंगे कि जपा भी साइड हो जाएगा वो सब नहीं. So there has to be again a balance. You can't pick up something which is not your area for sure, and ideally it should be identified by you. If we are not able to identify it at 25, 30 also, it's a serious problem actually. So it's your Varna Ashram Guru is personal choice. Always personal choice. Please exercise that personal choice. But do it in such a way that you are not making collateral damages in your devotional life. Avoid doing collateral damages of devotional life. मतलब एक तो हो गया ये, और दूसरा होगा कि अब तो प्रभु जी मैं 10 साल में ऐसा बन के आऊंगा, प्लीज सॉरी फॉरगिव मी, प्लीज डोंट पिंग मी फॉर नेक्स्ट 10 years, आई विल कम एंड कम बैक, नेवर. तो शुरू से ही टेक अ बैलेंस्ड अप्रोच, focus on it, keep doing it, and everything will come. Okay, it may not be an exciting don't have this spirit and don't have that spirit that okay, now I need to, because whatever it is, we have to manage our Krishna consciousness. So you have to choose your job also judiciously, which is giving you time. But what I see is that sometimes when we are doing this, then we'll end up doing that. Okay, and then we really mess up in our Krishna consciousness. Don't spend time on. So from the beginning, very beginning, please focus. Don't think I did some mistake, there were some wrong decisions I made. It's fine. There is always time to rectify it. कर सकते हो आप. जैक मा ने अली बाबा 41, 42 में बनाई थी. तो चीजें पॉसिबल हैं, but don't make a mess out of it and all those things. And at the same time, don't compromise your Krishna consciousness. Generally, it will not happen. Generally, I don't think so. It's all about time management, nothing else. It's all about managing time and taking time off from the other things like social media and all those things, and maybe unnecessary talking or gossiping or daydreaming. Just take time off from that. You will be able to manage your career and able to manage your Krishna consciousness both easily. Generally, shouldn't be a problem. Exceptional phases may be there in your career where जब बैठ के 16 घंटे आपका कोडिंग का कुछ रिलीज है या कुछ हुआ है, वो एक अलग चीज है. That's a phase. That's a very small. But generally your career cannot be like that. It will not be like that. So please manage your time well. Krishna is time himself. Then Krishna will expand and make you work more effectively. Shortcuts may be dangerous. Why I'm saying this point? We are talking of financials. Okay, so please don't take shortcuts. Crypto, derivative, वो सब चीजें. There's no shortcut, you know. Even RBI has told next financial crisis will come from cryptos, you know. So why I'm saying is that no, sometimes to wind up early, to become seriously dedicated to Srila Prabhupada mission, no, we end up investing our energy and cells into some very speculative instruments. It happens, you know. And then we are 24 hours thinking about that only. Short trading, ये trading, वो trading, ये सब बहुत कुछ होता है. अलग अलग इंस्ट्रूमेंट्स आएंगे. So there is definitely you need to do investments, but don't think shortcuts. Please don't have shortcuts unless your salary is like no running in crore. That is fine. बट आप कमा रहे हो जो भी रेगुलर पैकेजेस हैं और आपको लग रहा है 10 साल में मैं इसमें इन्वेस्ट करके देन मनी विल वर्क फॉर यू. यू विल नॉट वर्क फॉर मनी. It's fine, but you know, it may work for someone, but then there are also cases where money has gone only. Then you are literally running after money. Okay, so don't have very adventurous shortcuts to become rich. Be prepared. If you are have an average package, you will have to work. That's fine. No problems. भगवान कृष्ण ने उद्धव को बोला था वो लोग भी आएंगे भगवत धाम. कोई टेंशन वाली बात नहीं है. Okay, so it's fine. Always, whenever you're taking career decisions, please consider 3 horizons: short term, medium term, and long term Krishna consciousness. Don't take decisions only basis short term. मेरी भक्ति में currently बहुत सही लग रहा है, मैं ले लिया. Short term, medium term, long term, and you decide. आप inputs ले सकते हो सबसे. Decision किसको लेना है? Don't outsource the decision making of your career to this person, that person. No. Take advice as much as possible, no problem. And that too, as much as you can handle. It's not that you take run a poll. 100 लोगों से 100 भक्तों से पूछा, प्रभु जी आपको क्या लगता है? प्रभु जी आपको, प्रभु जी. Take advice, then take your call, take a decision. I hope we are cool about it, right? Next comes health. हमें लगेगा कि some regiment has to be there. अभी 22-23 में नहीं लगता कि क्या बकवास चल रही है सर. No, I'm so healthy. I am 40 now. I realize the importance of you invest now, sweat in peace, you bleed less in war. I mean, during COVID, there was a lot of blood tests which devotees kept doing. I mean, I was also having COVID. मैं भी गया था. अभी द्वारकाधीश आ रहे हैं, उनकी शरण में गया था भक्तिवेदांत हॉस्पिटल में. So when COVID, so they do all testing. So सबका diabetes का भी test हुआ था. तो किसी का कुछ pre-diabetic निकलने लगा. So devotees realize that many of the devotees they realize they are pre-diabetic actually because we eat nicely, right? अच्छे से खा लेते हैं हम लोग, कोई टेंशन नहीं है. तो point is that continue eating, but then burning it also, and by working and all those things. But we need to take care of our health. In right time, we should take right advices. Don't meddle and mess up with your health. In effect, okay, that is serious. That has serious ramifications as well. So this is another thing which you can't neglect. Those who are above 35, touching 40, annual health checkup and all those things, please keep doing. So that you are because you're using this body for Lord service and continuing on this Vahan. Next. Oh, there's no next, I think. Oh, yes, I'm done. So these were the 7 pillars. So the camp, the way it has been designed, can you put the schedule of the camp also? If you have. So Dwarkadish Prabhu and all, they'll be coming. They are here, no? By the time they come. So basically, we designed the whole schedule in such a way that all these different aspects are covered except health and job maybe, because we'll run a poll also in the group. Where are all of you working? So we can also, I've kept a room of that, a panel discussion on financial job security on Monday evening. If we need, we can do that as well. But the emphasis of this camp is to highlight this balanced aspect of Krishna consciousness. So you'll have Dwarkadesh Prabhu, then Radharani Mataji is going to talk about parenting. The parenting is not just about those who are, basically she is going to talk of Panch Kosh, which is even relevant for an adult, because unless your koshas are developed, you can't develop the koshas of your kids. हमारी खुद की बैंड बजी तो उसका क्या करेंगे हम? So therefore don't think, oh I am 20 to 23, बच्चे तो हुए नहीं अभी, तो parenting का क्या करना है मेरे को? नहीं, ऐसा कुछ नहीं है. It's good for you. You apply it and then you will be able to do it for your kids. So topics have been chosen in such a way that it encompasses that your holistic development in Krishna consciousness. We also introduced this time Rasvigra Prabhu, Jaidev Prabhu. They'll be coming and they'll be sharing their wisdom in Krishna, because they have spent like years, probably that's not even our age, that many years they have spent in Krishna consciousness. They've seen crests, troughs, everything. So they'll be speaking about their wisdom and all. So I have not bucketed them into a topic per se, but then their wisdom will be helpful. And then we have preaching in Krishna consciousness by Vijay Gopi Keshav Prabhu. He's doing a lot of preaching. And then we'll have attending temple programs, how it is important. So there are some vivid examples. Sarvavatar Prabhu and all, they'll be, they're really doing it very nicely. So what motivates them, we'll hear from them. And I also kept a session on DT worship, because in Grahastha life, DT worship is extremely important, extremely important. Those who are married with kids, if they are seeing DT worship happening at home, they will naturally get attracted to that. All they have to see is DT worship happening. So he'll not, of course, he is the head of congregation side in our Radha Vrindavan temple, but he'll be talking at our level, okay, what we can do, why we should be attracted to DT worship, because some people have natural inclination. कुछ लोगों को लगता है कीर्तन्य सदा हरि, I'll just keep chanting, हरे नामय केवलम. But DT worship is important, so how do we do that? So that's how we have balanced it. Please reach out for any help. It just is, all of you go back after 3 days with a very happy and satisfied heart. That's the goal. If all of you are happy, satisfied, we'll be happy and satisfied. So that's about it. I again want to welcome all of you for this camp. Really want to thank all of you that you have come. And please reach out to me or the team for any support or any help you need. Okay. Thank you so much. Any questions on this or why they're coming? You have informed or no? Acha, is it informed, no? Okay, fine. Any questions anybody is having? Any discussions till the time they are coming? We can do some discussions if you want. Yeah, please.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, thank you very much for the class. My question is that the starting you were mentioning about how in circus they'll be juggling balls. They'll start with 1 and then they'll go to 7. But I mean, at least in my life, I feel that I've been given all of these balls to juggle all at once, and I haven't practiced even juggling one.
No, they're not coming all at once. Don't worry. Krishna is also benevolent. First, you had your own career and job, right? It's not that right after college you're getting married. So first, we just had our Krishna consciousness. पढ़ते तो हम ज़्यादा है नहीं वैसे भी. Engineering में कौन ज़्यादा पढ़ता है actually? वही last में पढ़ते थे. But when you start working, then there are 2 balls. You have to manage your Krishna consciousness working and some services. Okay, so earlier it was only education, Krishna conscious services. Then you get married. Marriage होते बच्चे में भी time लगेगा. So you have that. So point is that you get acclimatized to the next phase you are getting into, and enter it in with full positive spirit. Okay, and it is gonna happen naturally if you focus on a dutiful nature. If you build the nature of being dutiful, then it will be easy to go to the next phase. मेरा कर्तव्य है, अच्छा लग रहा है नहीं लग रहा है मैं करूंगा. ये कर्तव्य बुद्धि जो होती है ना, ये हमारे को हेल्प करेगी. Lot many times we are fighting within ourselves with that only. No, I don't want. Arey Baba, that's a reality. You are into it. That's it. And all you have to do is just bite it. There are a lot of fears, stigmas we may have in our own mind, but they are like stigma. ध्रुव महाराज जब लड़ रहे थे तो वो निषाद का बचा, तो उन्होंने वो भेजा था ना, मतलब they sent some very illusory kind of things, which was bewildering Dhruv Maharaj. But they were actually not existing realities. And Brahmanas came and told, chant the holy names, everything will be fine, So sometimes we have too much stigmas कि इतना सब कैसे करेंगे, और तो अगर हो गया तो बच्चा हो गया तो कैसे करेंगे, एक बच्चा हो गया दूसरा कैसे करेंगे, और ये नहीं हो पाएगा. It just happens. Just continue on a dutiful nature and it will happen. So cultivate that. That's the key point actually. आप अपने कर्तव्यों को लेके विहीन है, एकदम अच्छे कर्तव्य को लेके एकदम डेडिकेटेड है, डिवोटेड है, तो सब कुछ हो जाएगा. So build that spirit. And that starts in devotional life only, no? You like it, don't like it, you chant, you don't like it, you follow a regiment. Then your mind becomes stronger. Your mind becomes better, And then you take it up. Don't think too much, Don't think too much. Sometimes you think a lot, Cut it. Yeah. Mike.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Okay. Yeah.
In the older times, we see men as the sole bread earners, and some way or the other, today in the earlier times to modern times, that's been a stigma where you only imagine men being the sole bread earners, and in the modern structure, that's not always how it works. And with as the other balls keep coming in to our lives while we juggle, example, kids and everything. Could you comment on if both the partners are working?
Yeah, sure. That's a very important practical question actually. And it's a fact, that it's no fault of any one party. I mean, definitely, if somebody is educated from the beginning, and then suddenly they'll end up in Krishna consciousness, this is the girl. And she's very oriented towards building career, and she came into Krishna consciousness, and then there's a sudden crash landing which happens, and then it will be difficult for us to expect that she'll give up everything naturally, because it was happening in Vedic times, because she was not being brought up in that way. Okay. So it's gonna be difficult. So see, what I understand is, Prabhuji, it depends on the relationship between husband and wife. That's a key thing, If the husband-wife relationship is good, because naturally a wife, a woman, she naturally wants to take care of kids. Yes, she may be coming with a different pattern than, let's say, our mother. हम अपने मम्मी ध्यान आती, मम्मी तो हमेशा ये ऐसे करती थी, तुम तो ऐसे नहीं सोच रही हो, सब चीजें नहीं, वो ऐसा. She is a different person, she'll come with a different mindset. But naturally a woman wants to take care of home. But then what is going to catalyze her movement to that role completely depends on the dealing which the husband has with the wife. Relationship between husband and wife. Of course, you can't say पंखा 5 पे था उसको 0 कर दो, पंखा 1 पे भी रख सकते हैं उसको. So you may find some middle solution, you give her some engagements which are conducive, etc. and also. Okay. So Dwarkadish Prabhu is there, we'll discuss one-on-one. Okay. Jai Dwarkadish Prabhu ki, Shakha Priya Mataji ki.